What's up? Rise and shine. I've been going through some paperwork back to the good old days when this all began, confidential for me, and they wanted to tell me, okay, they send me these letters from the hospital, the urgents, and you see the date that they're on? Where is this date? Let me go back to find the date. Here's the date. Let me just see what's in here, if my address is on here. Okay, here's the date. 050505 at 2227. 10 is 687 minutes. 68721. The reverse is 9. The total is 12. The reality is 3. 3 and 5. 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6 and 5, 11, 11, 11. All fives get 6 all the time, right? But 1, 2, 3 become 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3 become 0, 7, 0, 8, 0, 9, right? 7 and 9 is just left or right of 8. 8 and 5 are in between. So 6 and 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all the same. 6 comes with 5, and 7 and 8 come together. 7 plus 8 equals 15. 1 and 5 is 6 again. 6 and 5, 6 and 5, 6 and 5, 11, 11, 11, 2, 2, 2 of 2, 2, 2. Times 8, 1888, or 4 times here and 4 times here. Remember, the year, the month, the day. 2 numbers, 2 numbers, 2 numbers. If you see 00 something, you automatically know that works in the thousands, because you're not going to have a 0 for nothing. There's 1 0 to the center, to the 1 0 and 0. There's 2 zeros to the right, 2 zeros to the left, 3 zeros in the center. 3, 2, 2. The reason for that is one of them will be either a 0.5, which is half of one-sided separation equally, 5. If it's number 2, it's divided in 5. So that means we put it in the center, because putting it in the center shares it equally to everything and its own. If number 4 shows up, well, that's the 4 corners, 360 degrees around the center. If 6 shows up, well, then we're only talking about one side. Control of 6. 6 shows up, we know the one spirit is in control. 6 shows up, the one spirit is a polar. We know it's 45 degrees to the left on the clock, and it's 90 degrees to the right. But if it was 1 o'clock and 6 o'clock on the clock, that would be 5 hours. Unless 1 and 6 is to the left and to the right. 1 angle 45 to the left, 2 angles 45 to the left, and 2 angles 45 to the right, 180 degrees. But to the right, you go 3 angles of 45 right, 3 angles of 45 left. The total is 270 degrees plus 3 degrees for the spring. 3 and 3 is 6, right? The center, after you go 270, is 90. 90 take away 6. You cannot spring past 5, because then you spring past halfway. And remember, if the center of this swings, right? Remember, this is already on the other side, but this arm can only swing on this side, so we keep it on this angle. So it can only swing up to here, but it can never swing down to here. Do you see that? When it swings down to there, it only takes up the emptiness inside, not like it takes. Am I explaining this right? It's very hard to explain. Very hard to explain. You know what I'm saying? There's 2 sides to the clock. If you put this in the center of the clock, whatever is here will always go onto that side, regardless if you want or you don't want. And that's the polar part of itself. It takes up an extreme angle. It takes up this distance. Look, this is the circle. It takes up this side and this side. That's square. That's a diameter. Diameter is a square, right? The diameter of the squares how many squares inside your circle? Is that your diameter? Diameter where the circle, the high point, you see the circle? The longest part is in the center. But on a square, right? On a square, the greatest distance is on the angle. On a square, multiplying them plus. Anyways, we did all this furnished. I'm taking out this, and in here it says, when I went in, it asks you all kinds of questions, and it says, smokes marijuana lightly, right? And in here it says money, has a money problem when he went in. And down below over here, well, it's all in French. it says I'm coloring stuff and writing about Satan and writing about, excuse me, it says I'm writing about Satan over here, and I have great thoughts about the world, and there's something wrong with the world. There's something not correct with the world. He's not sure what it is, but he just keeps drawing all the time. And this is at 2:10 a.m. This is the first diagnosis when I first went in. And then when I left, it was perfect because they said, well, he smokes light, a little bit occasionally weed in this one. When I went to the other hospital in this one I was sick. They said everything was perfect. Everything that they said, the way it was, how whatever I was great. But in this one, it was crazy. And the money thing in this one happened again in this one, except this one I was alive. In this one I was psychotic. Well, I wasn't psychotic, I was just freaking out. They thought I was psychotic. Well, anyways, they told me I was drawing all kinds of crazy stuff 10 years ago, and I never drew nothing. I mean, just because I didn't draw well when I was young, just because I was a 40-year-old guy making drawings in a hospital, I would like to show you that the time of that psychosis, by the time I was finished, do you see those two pictures there on the wall? Well, those were drawn just after the hospital, 2 weeks later. Okay, so something must have been going on because those are my first two pictures I drew. And I never drew and I never painted. I never did art in my entire life. I mean, I don't know what you want to call these drawings on the wall. Back in the other room, inside of this room, floor. And I know I show this off because I like it. I like it. I like to show it off because I like it. Another thing I wanted to show was this over here. 30309060303 369. In 1992, in the state of New York, on the third moon of the 28th cycle, or the third moon of the fifth cycle, because I don't need to use 8. 8 says 4. Remember when I said the three numbers? If you have 00, the minute you have 0000, it's because, look, the half side, one side and the other side. There's two realities to this. Anyways, the offense took place in 1992, and look at that. In March 4th of 2013, I paid it, and they gave me 3 points against my license for something I did in 1992. 21 years later, speed in excess of 2012, 222 of 423, 423, 23, all the same numbers, reverse. This one I get here. This one happens 1 year later that this one gets paid. This is the date they get it. This is the marking of it. This is 1, this is 3. All 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Everything is crazy, crazy. Just for me, it's just. But anyways, in this over here, they said I was drawing all kinds of crazy stuff now. I want to know where those nurses are. I really do want to know where those nurses are. Anyways, I started thinking again of something, and there's a square, right? If the greatest distance in a square is at the corners, so let's measure it towards the corners. There is no inside to the square. It's Bombay. Because the square on the inside is where the package goes, right? And the center of the package is right over here. We don't want it crushed. So we need the extra space, the spring space. So when I do everything, I put a little curve to everything. We're talking about the inside, we're talking about the outside, depending on the angle we're going on. Anyways, let's go into this. Okay, it's a 9-minute video. 1, 2, 3. This one gets to see out the 16 ways of 1. 16 ways of 1 because it's 20 degrees each, and 40 is open on the bottom, the Pac-Man sun. 4 by 4 is 16. 5 by 5 is 25. How do we get to 34? 1 times 3, 1 is inside of 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. 3 and 4. The difference between 2 and 5 is 3. The difference between 1 and 6 is 5. The difference between 3 and 5 is half, 2 halves. 16, 41, 49. 7 times 7, 49, the green gates. The number 1 numerological count is 34. 3 and 4 is 7. The numerological count for 2 is 58 equals to 4. This becomes 4. The numerological count for 3 is 56. This becomes 2. 142, the bad cat. 142. The reason for 142 is because this one will now play 6. The center 1 here, opposite of this, is 6. 1 is inside of 3, and the opposite of 1 is 6. Black and white, 3 gets 6. 3 gets 6 white and 3 black. 3 pole is 4. 2 pole is 5. There are 5 whites inside 4. There are 6 whites inside 3. 6 and 5, 11. 1 and 1 is 2. The numerological count for 3 is 56. Numerological count for 7 is 65. If we're talking about the great white whale, GNR 25, EA 6 equals 31, T equals 20 equals 51, the great white whale. 51 is Mars. 7 and 4, Jesus, comes out of the 2 dice because the 2 blacks and the polar 5, which gives 4, 2 blacks and 5 blacks, polars of each other on the cube. Brings me 7 and 4, Christ. This one is 65. This one is 7 and 4. 7 and 4 is outside of 6 and 5. 1, 6 are polars. 1 gets 8, 6 gets 3 whites. But this is a 2-1 white inside of here. And this number is the runner of the church. 73 is Nibiru, the runner of the great red roof. Nibiru keeps showing up as the great red roof, a reflection from opening the sun from one side, under one wing, under the other wing, under one wing. You think I'm kidding you, right? But I got to teach kiddie style. We got to look. We're like so smart. When we see things that are stupid, we laugh. But when we see things that are kiddie style, it's like I already knew it. But yet we can go to comedy and laugh at the stupidest things that we do. More foolish than anybody else. But Ma, you already said that. So I want to be able to come in here and show you things like, let me show you this one piece that I know you're going to like. Because I like it. Well, if I like it, doesn't mean you have to like it. But I just want to show you, I'm going to show you the 2 dice, okay? And I must show you the extra angle because it's on an angle. It's in the center, so the longest point is here. I mean, on a corner, so the longest point is here. So here's the 2 dice. We're going to take out the white spots, right? We're going to make the 2 dice right over here. Here, and then I'm going to take the 2 dice and put it here. That's the 2 dice. But I want to take that and cut it out, or I want to cut this out. So this is how I cut it out. Okay, like this. See this? Right? You see that? No, I don't know if I'm going to do it that way. And we're going to do it down here, right? This is one side. And then we have the other side. I'm splitting this in half, right? Like with a scissors. Maybe I should just cut it in half with a scissors. And I'm going to take it and take it here and take it here, and it's cut in half with a scissors. I have to bring this all together, right? So we have to bring this together. How do I bring this together? Let's bring this together. So now I'm going to bring this together, right? I'm going to just do this and just bring it all together as in one color, right? And I'm going to bring this one all together in one color. I know I'm making them very big. I can make them very small, right? I can make it very small and then very small, right? And then just bring it together, right? So here I'm going to right? Like a sandbox. Okay, this is okay. It's like a sandbox, right? So I brought it together, right? But what about bringing it together all the way? Why shouldn't I bring it together all the way? I mean, we need to get from one side of 2 to the other side of the 2, but we're missing one thing. Between 2 is 1. Between 2 is 1. When the other one shows up in the center, okay, when the other one shows up in the center, It actually does this. Propeller. This is a spade, held backwards. Okay, this is a shovel in French, but also means shovel also means the spade. So this will show you the propeller and the spade. What is pro? One is now pro. This is now con. One goes between two, and this becomes the propeller. 1 and 2. This is the difference. Here's 1. Here's separated 1. Can we say 1 and 1? Or do we now say, aye, Captain. Team to the left, team to the right. Aye, Captain. I run for both teams. The dog bone in between 1. In between here, where you can now have the reality of the army stripe. You see the army stripe up? See the up in the arm where it goes around? It goes up and around because I'm at the other corner. Here I have 2 of them for the top. 1 here and then 1 here, 2 army stripes. And you need 1 below this one over here. So these are now your 3 army stripes. So now you can run your army stripe up this way and your army stripe up that way and your army stripe up that way and then whatever in between, right? See now it's like a box kite, the way it runs. The box kite, the shoulder, the clavicle on your head. As I talk, I build armies, I build people, I build the body back up. This takes you to every single level of whatever number that comes out from the 1 bone. 34 and 2, 36 creation. 1. If I said boner and add an R to this, this would be 34, this would be 2, and this would be R18. That would be your 20, your B and R. Your B and R together says B and R together is the sleeping bear between 1. The sleeping bear between 1. If you're operating this 1 here, this is your heart. This 1 will now become an S, right? Why will it become an S? It's pretty simple, right? You would have to do like this. You have to encompass the whole thing, connecting 1 together. Is that not correct? And then you take it and then you make it back to this. And now you've crossed your heart and you've picked up your 2, hope to die, right? No more 1 in the center. 1, 2, 3. If it's all 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, it becomes now 0, 7, 0, 8, 0, 9. This becomes 8. This becomes 10, 8, 10, and 12. 8, 10, and 12. This would be 0, 8. This would be 14. So right away we have 14 and 0, 8. 0, 8 is 4 all around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All 8s. 8s of everything. This is 2 8s. Is 16 is 2 areas. This is the 5 passage between the 2 areas. 12 and 8 is 1.5 times, which is 1 part and 1/2 part of the other, sharing the center. And 10 will now equal to 16, which will equal to 7, 5, 3. 3, 7, 5. Divide that by 60. Divide that by 66 times. It'll be 18. Is that what it is? 15? 15 times 3, 15, 16, 7. I think it's 18. It's 54. And 18 times $1. No, I don't remember what that is. How many of these go into 4 of them? 16 of them go into 60. So then you have 24 60s in a day for 360. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 plus 4 is 8. The difference between day and night is 8 and 16. In 9 days, you have 144 day. You have 72 night, 216 hours, 9 times 24. The last day is the link. That 10th day is the link between 2 sides. Anyways, building you a map and numbers and understanding. And again, the pail, the shovel brings in the light. Somehow that spade brings in the light. But it brings in the light with darkness. When you say shovel, you're not only saying, you're saying light of her light. Who is she? Who is Mother Nature? Did we build Mother Nature? Why does this say Mother Nature? Pelle, because this is only 1/2 of the word in French saying of the. And if you want to talk about the spotted leopard, because it reminds me of it, elle means her. It also says the I within her. Why? Because when two L's come together, right? When two L's come together, an L here and an L here, well, what I do is I just connect them together. It's like YTV. And then I got two sides of summer, two sides of summer, two different suns. So when we talk pale, we also say light because of the P. It's a touchdown. The light touches down, right, into the earth. And if the light touches down into the earth, we have a negative effect into us. It goes through us, back into the earth, taking our energy or delivering us something and force feeding us. Now, since we say pale and since we say L, L is her. L is also LED light. Okay, LED light also says lady. It says lady die. If you see over here, lady die is an expression which means at the end. Why at the end? Indian, Diana, Indian, at the end. At the end, and when you put it together, at the end, we have your head. TV, V equals to 22. 22 is a representation of E. It says we have your head, TET. Anyways, whatever it says to me, whatever I see, this is why I express it. I express it and I show you what I see if you see the same thing. But the way to express this one here is not like that. They do it like that. And then what they do is they do it like that. Always opposites. Your I and I is right over here. When you have your I and I, you have your lamed. The lamed letter, the passage, the heart, the snake. You follow what I'm saying? When you have the lamed, you have this, number 5. Number 2 equals number 5. All the dice do that. When you come to the 4 cube, right? When you come to the 4 cube, 1, 2, 3, 4, where they're all taken up. Now you have one choice. You have one of two directions. You can go this way, and then you go over the top. Or you go this way, and you come over the sides. It's top or bottom or east or west. It's the 6 dice. It's either the dice is this way or the dice is this way. That's how you know which way to go. So your 4 will now equal to your H and your I, to where your 2 will equal to your 5. Now your 5 equals to your S. Your 5 also equals to, where's the number 5? Your 5 also can be switched corners. We can also do it this way and put it this way. So then if you put it this way, I got to go up this way, this way, this way, this way, and this way. I do it that way because I go through the corners. So I get 5 and 2, which is B and E. 5 and 2, and this one here picks up how many whites does it pick up? I'm leaving this one free, and I'm leaving this one free. Did you notice? I leave that one free because I make up with it with this one here, and I use these over here, but these are free. Because I didn't do this. I can do this, right? I can do this and make 2 here if you want. But I didn't. I'm shortening it up. You see, I'm hitting the center. No, I'm hitting the outside of the center. Here, I'm hitting the inside of the center. The tail goes inside here. Then the tail at this one goes inside here. So if you ever ask yourself, why is there something at the end of each? Because they're taken up by these spots. But I wanted to show you something a little bit different because you want to go above and below. That's what this number 2 is more or less what I call the brick house. Why is it the brick house? Because you take a brick like this, and then you take one brick here, which looks like a dog, right? Right? Looks like a dog. And you take another brick here, and then you take a brick here, and then you take another brick here, and then you take another brick here, right? Okay, so it just seems simple like that. But what about if we follow the bricks that we put down, right? Follow the bricks that we put down. See the way the brick meets here, and go onto the inside brick here, and then here, and then here, and you make number 5. And then you make number 2. If you put the bricks the other way, right, you create the I, the separation of the brick, or you create the H, the height within of the bricks going up. You like that flag? Did we finish that flag yet? That was pretty quick, eh? I like my yellow. I used to never like yellow, but I really do like yellow. I like yellow a lot. Yellow's pretty good for the army stripes, eh? Should just color all that in. What goes in the black hole? What goes in here? What goes in here? Look out below. You know, we're going to climb down the ladder, right? This was a dice cube, don't forget. This was the 2 cube. Okay, the 2 cube. We turned this one, well, it's not the 6, right? See the 6? There's 3 empty spots, right? Here there's 5 empty spots. 6, 5, 11, 3, and 4, 8. 8 and 11, 19. This is a connection to that 5. It also is also everything that reaches 8, 11 is part of Nibiru. The reason for that is 8 and 11 is 8 and 11 is 19, but 11 equals 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 8 is the cycle of the moon, but it also connects to Nibiru because 1 is inside of 3. Do you see 3? 1 hole, 2 holes, but there's another hole below. Can we do it that way? What if I chop this part off here like this, and then I chop this part off here? What would it look like now? It would look more like a hole, right? And what if I just cut more out on that side and cut more out on that side? Now you're really looking down that hole. And they're probably going to come out somewhere over here at the bottom, right? And then how would I make that look? How would I make that look? Nah, we'll just leave it at that. Okay, the end. Boop, boop.